Is it time to panic? What's up, guys? Swift here, covering everything Chicago Bears. I'm going to break down the last 2 days' practices. Darnell Wright is dealing with an ankle injury. He had his ankle wrapped and did not practice. The team seems optimistic he can be ready for week 1, but no chance he plays this weekend. Also, Cole Kmet left practice yesterday. He did leave on a cart, but he wasn't carted off the field. He walked to the cart. It was 100 degrees and he was carted back to the locker room. There were just some weird reports all day yesterday on Twitter. So first, the good news. Cole Kmet was back at practice today and he looked just fine. Also, Darnell Wright, even though he didn't practice, he was walking around just fine with his ankle wrapped. He didn't have any kind of boot or anything on, so this would suggest he did not suffer a high ankle sprain and most likely should be fine for week 1. The full list of players who didn't practice yesterday is wild. Just too many names to even read through. I'm going to throw a graphic up on the screen. These are all the players who did not practice yesterday. On top of this, Tremaine Edmunds is still ramping up. Cole Kmet left practice, and Cody Whitehair has his hand wrapped. The last 2 weeks have been devastating when it comes to the trainer's room. If you include guys that left practice yesterday or today, we are missing legit half of our starting lineup. There are about 10 to 12 starters missing practice. You only start 11 on defense and 11 on offense. So I understand why fans are beginning to panic, but the NFL has continuously lessened the importance of preseason, especially after the NFL season has become longer. There are now 18 weeks and teams play 17 games, and most teams now have the goal to enter week 1 as healthy as possible. But we did have some good news from today's practice. I already mentioned Cole Kmet returned, but so did Yannick Ngakoue, Rasheem Green, Terrell Lewis, and Travis Homer. On top of that, Tremaine Edmunds got in his second straight practice, and some other guys like Chase Claypool and Jaquan Brisker were seen on the stationary bikes, so hopefully they are getting closer to returning as well. Flus actually said he is confident that Eddie Jackson, Jaquan Brisker, Tremaine Edmunds, Nate Davis, Darnell Wright, and Chase Claypool would all be ready to go for week 1. That's more positive news. In an ideal world, you would want more reps for your young guys playing together so they can be a little bit more crisp and ready to go once week 1 gets here. I will say this much about Coach Eberflus: his practices are a lot harder than Matt Nagy's were. To that same point though, practices in the NFL overall have cooled down, and this training camp was mild compared to what I saw back in the Lovie Smith days. One way to look at this positively is that it's given a lot of extra reps to our young guys and backups. As Ryan Poles tries to build depth on this roster, the talent level of our second and third string players has risen dramatically. The difference between this year and last when it comes to the bottom of the roster is dramatic. On top of that, Ryan Poles is going to continue to do his due diligence in improving further. We still have the number 1 spot on waivers, and the NFL's giant cutdown day is just 5 days away. There will be 300 plus players released on the same day. It's coming Tuesday, August 29th. Some teams will release guys this weekend after the preseason game, but there are going to be massive cuts all around the league. In what came to me as a bit of a surprise though, Flus announced that the starters and Justin Fields will play this weekend against the Bills. He did not say how long they will go. I imagine a couple of series at most, possibly the first quarter. I do not see them playing into the second half. My biggest thing is just getting out of this weekend without suffering any more injuries. We've been waiting to see these guys play all off season long, and the excitement has reached a level that it hasn't hit in a long time. The recent injury news is about all the news we've got since camp broke. This weekend we get to see the starters, and then Tyson Bagent has a shot to win the number 2 job. Should be a fun weekend. College football also kicks off this weekend with a full slate of NCAA football next weekend before the NFL kicks off. I do plan on doing a fantasy football league and letting some of you guys join. Obviously, the spots will be very limited. Let me know in the comments how many people are interested. I'll be setting it up sometime this week. Thanks to everyone who watches. Please hit that like button for me. And until next time, bear down.